Revival. Interesting. Shoot him? Without killing him. Love to see it. I don't want to communicate with him. He's never gonna tell them. He's drinking in the helicopter. That was so funny. But it is totally he says it. He says it. Holy shit. I was just about to say. Holy shit. L knows. It's the Shinigami that L has been like crazy about this entire time. Yeah, exactly. What is the plan? But okay, see now that she mentions it, L sees it. Everything that he wanted. No. Yeah. Whose notebook is that? Is that Ryuk's or is that... Holy shit. Amazing sequence. His voice. Some fear. We're not seeing his face. Holy shit. Ah, we're finally going to see the plan. Okay. And he's gonna touch it again? Okay. Yeah. The book that he touched in the helicopter is Rem's notebook, but it also became Light's notebook. That's basically it. Okay. I love the music that is playing in the back. Is it though? Not just for your own personal gain? Now the question is the whereabouts of the other notebook. Someone who seeks justice. Ah, there it is. And that death note that he is holding right now is his own death note.
こを1秒以上の間隔を空けずに4回引く。よし。八神さん、樋口を車へお願いします。
Looks at L.
化学分析とかしたら何か出るだろうか。八神くんらしくないですね。科学なんて超えてますよ、それは。それもそうだ。
The tension, the atmosphere, the voice in that helicopter completely changes once Light took the notebook. And his eyes also, it's a defining trait of his design. It's a lot more squinted, it's a lot more menacing. Well played. But you still need to know his name though. You still haven't figured that out yet. But at least we have returned the status quo a bit, right? And now Rem is just there. And everybody just has to deal with her. Okay then. Yes, this is very awkward. But this is interesting, and I kind of enjoyed this. I kind of like this. Everybody is now learning more and more about the Death Note, which is something that I would never have predicted. I thought only like Light is going to, have knowledge of the Death Note, but no. Now everybody is in on it. So how is Light going to deal with everybody else in that room, including his father though? That's the question. That is a problem. That is a problem.
そうだ。こういう掟があれば父さんたちにノートを処分され、僕の記憶がなくなることもない。レム、ここに嘘のルールを書いてもジジイに怒られるわけないよな。ああ、そんな掟はない。
A fake rule. The old man? Wait, what? A higher being than the Shinigami? Like the ruler of the Shinigami realm?
このノートに名前を書き込んだ人間は最も新しく名前を書いた時から13日以内に次の名前を書き込み人を殺し続けなければ自分が死ぬ。
これでライト君もミサミサも完全に白ってことですね。
A beautiful lie indeed. L is not amused.
でしたね、そこの白い方。
龍崎、失礼じゃないですか、白いとか。
ノートは他にも人間界にありますね。
Wow, they are talking to Rem. This is amazing.
ライト君とアマネの疑いは晴れた。二人の監視は終わりだ。
そうですよ。もう明白ですよ。
そうですね。
L is very displeased by this development.
わかりました。今まで申し訳ありませんでした。
But I feel like he is being genuine right now. Especially from his voice.
僕の作った嘘のルールによって龍崎は手立てを失った。いいか龍崎。ルールとはいつの世界も神とされるものによって作られるものだ。
There it is, the God complex again. Oh, she's leaving. Surveillance cam?
この角度なら監視カメラで見られていたとしても僕の口は映らない。絶対誰も見ていない時に一人で掘り出してくれ。
Ah, the other Death Note in the forest. The one where they bury the Death Note. Okay. And that's her Death Note. And now she has the memories again. Alright, we have basically returned the status quo to when we were before. Oh? What was his name? What was his name? Oh my god. Wait, we're only like 20 episodes into the show. I...
ダメだよ、ライト。名前なんて覚えてないよ。
Shit. And there he is. I miss you, buddy. Okay. I'm not sure.
あと、そうだ、リュウク。私と目の取引して。
So she already got the eye before. She's gonna get the eye again. Does that mean her life gets cut again? Yeah, exactly. She... Yeah. Oh my... She really is a fucking psychopath. Disregards her life. Ah, it's all part of the plan. Oh, Rem isn't happy with this. Rem. Yeah, but she won't have long. Great shot. L is... Alright, I've been debating on whether or not if I want to watch the next episode or if I just want to continue with the discussion for this episode first. And being that this is a great episode in my opinion, I feel like I want to discuss this episode first, and then I'm gonna see whether or not if I want to continue on with episode 25 or if this should just be a one episode reaction. But for now, let's just talk about episode 24, Revival. I think this is one of the best episodes of the show, period. I've mentioned, I don't know if I've mentioned this throughout a lot of my reactions, but I do have a strong feeling with episode, what was it, episode 7? Yeah, I have a strong feeling with episode 7 being one of my favorite episodes, even though the narrative decision in that episode, in episode 7, was I'd say controversial on my end, because, like, you know, the thing about, like, should Miss Naomi be kept alive when, you know, the author basically killing her the minute they introduce her is you know, but I get why they did it, but it is a great episode nonetheless in terms of, like, direction and just overall narrative, at least for Light's character. This episode is amazing as well. It is great, and I think I'm really confident in saying that I think this is probably my favorite episode of Death Note so far. This is what we have been building up to. This is what we have been expecting to happen over the last couple of episodes, beginning with Light relinquishing his possession of the Death Note, right? We all know that Light has a big plan. We all know that he has this grandiose like plan to eventually obtain the Death Note again. We just don't know what it is because he never told us. And the more we watch these episodes, the more we kind of get a better understanding of what the plan is. And now we're finally seeing it come to fruition, and it's great. It's amazing. Overall, the episode, I feel like, has a really strong sense of direction. I love the flow of the episode. I love some of the shot compositions. I love some of the direction and the edits that they use in some of the scenes, especially during the moment when the big moment when Light basically touches the Death Note again and regains his memories. I think that was an amazing scene. We'll get to that in the discussion, but overall, yeah, great episode. Great use of music as well. The tension, I can feel it. The voice acting again, also, especially for L, right? In terms of like how he feels, I guess, quote unquote defeated, or, well, not really defeated, but at least his original idea, his original feeling that Light is Kira. You know, he has been gunning that plan this entire time. And it feels like the more these episodes go on, the more Light gets the upper hand, the more L starts to doubt his own intuition, the more L sees that, yeah, there is a lot of quote-unquote evidence that does not point at Light. And at this very moment, the moment when everything is within his grasp, Light finally gets the upper hand. Everybody now believes that Light is innocent, even the police squad, everybody. And L seems to be the odd one out. He seems to be the only one left out of the group that still believes that Light is Kira. Now everybody is against him. And now again, now that they have the Death Note and they see like the rules, or in this case the fake rules, it just gives L all the more basically answer to his question. And the answer is something that L does not want to hear, right? Alright, that's going to be a small review of the episode. So now let's actually dive deeper into the episode. Let's go one by one, scene by scene, and let us actually dissect more of the episode. Okay, so episode title is a revival. Very fitting, especially, you know, in context to what it actually means. It is basically the revival of Kira, of Light, regaining his god complex again. But we're jumping ahead. Let's continue on with this. So Higuchi is finally caught. We continue off from the previous episode. Love that we see Aizawa again. Aizawa and Chief Soichiro talking and saying, hey, yeah, the camaraderie and whatever. Love this moment. Higuchi gets surrounded. He walks out. He gets apprehended. And then he tells the truth. He says, yeah, there's this note that if I wrote something in it, people die. At first, people are like unsure of what he is saying, but L quickly takes note of this. He's like, wait a minute, a notebook, what is he talking about? Of course, he's piecing together all of the evidence that we saw before in the previous episodes, especially when it comes to like when the second Kira and when Misa was like giving like false or like conflicting info messages, right? Especially concerning about like, let's bring our notebooks and whatever, right? That is something that L has been is thinking right now in this scene. And then Soichiro touches the notebook, the Death Note, I would say. I think the decision to have Soichiro be the first person to hold the Death Note is a really good decision. He is the chief, he is the one in charge, he is also Light's father. There's a lot of significance in him being the first one to basically touch it. right? And then everybody starts to touch the Death Note, and everybody starts seeing Rem, and slowly everybody is losing their shit. And yeah, the truth is out there. L himself is still unsure what to think of this, but he wants that notebook. Bring me that notebook. He grabs the notebook, and I love this. He touches the notebook. He looks at Rem. I love how the camera moves. I love the direction in this scene. And here we see, I don't know how to describe this. There's a sense of fear, but there's also a sense of relief as well. Basically saying, yeah, my suspicions, my answer. This is all that I've been looking for, basically, for L's, from L's perspective, like a Shinigami. So I was right. So that is true, right? There's this sense of accomplishment for L to finally, basically find the missing link, the missing puzzle that he has been asking this entire time. How do you kill people? And it is within this notebook, and it is within that Shinigami. He looks at it in surprise, in amazement. There's a lot of emotions being displayed here, right here. Especially from L's own voice, I would say. Again, like I was mentioning, great voice acting, because it showcases a lot of there's a lot of emotions again being displayed here, right? And then he slowly realizes. He starts to piece everything together. He starts to understand something, and this is something where I am not sure of right now. L basically figures out that, hey, there are 2 Death Notes. That part is true, but we don't really see him basically connecting the dots to Light and Misa. And I don't know whether or not this is information that is being withheld from the audience. Basically saying that, yeah, Light actually knows that Light and Misa are the 2 Kiras, but he just needs more definitive evidence, more proof from themselves that they are Kiras, right? That could be the case, because knowing L, he is one of the smartest person in this world, as the story proclaims. I don't know. It's just the fact that L isn't really saying much in this scene, especially after that this flashback of him basically connecting the dots, showing, basically remembering Light's name, Misa, the notebook, everything. It all comes together, but then he only mentions there are 2 notebooks. I don't know. I don't know. This is the thing about L, though, and I kind of like this about his character. We don't know much about what it is that he is he is thinking in his head, right? He likes to keep things to himself, and he only explains information when he needs to. He doesn't want to say it, especially in Light's vicinity, right? And then in that very moment, he isn't holding the Death Note anymore. Cut to Light. Great scene. I love the direction in this moment right here. The frame by frame zoom out of Light and his shocked face. Pum pum pum. I feel like that is a very effective use of the editing, and it's a very effective use of shock, especially from Light. From L's perspective. And then we see this, and I'm not gonna play the sound because copyright. I don't want to get copyright strike again. But the sound design in the scene is also incredible. I love how they just immediately flash you with a bunch of scenes of basically his life. Yeah, we see everything Naomi, Miss Penber, the potato chip, Light meeting L. Yeah, basically every his entire life is basically flashing before him, and I love this scene so much. I think this is one of the best scenes in the entire show. Incredible scene, and it's also like the climax of this entire. Well, not really the climax. I mean, it kind of is. It is basically what we have been waiting for, which is Light, becoming Kira once again. Are you alright? Elle asked. And at this very moment, just for a couple of seconds, we don't get to see Light's face. I love this decision so much. We're not supposed to see his face because when we do, it is not the face of Light anymore. It is the face of Kira. All according to plan. Great scene. And then we transition this to the very moment that when Light was planning all of this. We get to see the plan, we get to see how everything comes into play, right? And Light kept saying like, yeah, this is all for Misa's sake. I don't believe that. I don't believe one sentence, one word that has been uttered from Light's from Light's mouth when he says, yeah, this is all for Misa, I love you. That is some bullshit in my opinion. I don't believe it for a second. We know he is a manipulative piece of shit. So you're not gonna fool me. This is all just for you. This is all just for you to basically realize your fucked up idealized world of justice or whatever. Alright then, let's move on. So, in typical Light fashion, of course, he planned it all out. He has a piece of the note in his watch. He wrote Higuchi's name, and then Higuchi dies. Unfortunately for L, he wasn't really observant enough. And that's the crazy part. Like, the answer is right next to him. It is right next to L this entire time. And L just never notices it. Higuchi dies, and then we cut to here. Everybody can see Rem. They're looking at them. And I also love the fact that they are basically inspecting the Death Note, looking at the rules, saying how all of this works. But of course, in typical Death Note fashion, Light has another plan. Fake rules. I never would have thought of it, but it happened. They wrote some fake rules, and here something interesting was mentioned, and I don't know if they mentioned this before in a couple of like previous episodes. I think they did. Maybe I haven't really wrote any notes at the time, so I don't really have any reference, and I haven't really rewatched those episodes. But Ryuk mentioned something about the old man will. There's no way the old man will get mad if we write a fake rule. Who is the old man? That is the question. I mean, it's definitely a Shinigami. Probably somebody who created the Death Note? Maybe, who knows? We don't know yet. But the old man referred to here is definitely like the ruler of the Shinigami realm. At least that's what I'm getting at right now. It is something that these two it is something that these two respect, and it is something that should be important in a way, because this all ties to the lore behind the Death Note, right? But we're not going to talk more about this, because this is something that is only skimmed through by these two characters. But it is something that I wrote, and it is something that I am about to basically look forward to in the future. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to see it, maybe we don't. We don't know. However, it is something that has been stated in the story. Moving on, everybody else again talking about the Death Note. Everybody's saying, hey, with all of these rules, with all of these circumstances, there's no way Light and Misa are Kira, right? Come on, L. And then here, L kind of slowly admits defeat, or at least that's how it seems. We know L is somebody who likes to keep things a secret. We know L loves to basically tell one thing, but that is not really the truth. He's just saying what everybody wants to hear. We see that happen when he is talking to Aizawa a couple of episodes ago, and we're probably seeing it right now. L is probably giving everybody a false sense of security by saying, yeah, I admit I lose. Light is not Kira. But we know L. We know his character. We know he is stubborn. We know that he is obsessed with this. We know that he is obsessed with Kira. I'm sorry. Yeah, with Kira, with Light. I guess we'll just have to see how all of this is going to pay off. So, love the imagery. The, again, God complex. Gaining it again. Masuda seems very sad that Misa is about to leave. But then she comes back again, which kind of raised suspicion, in my opinion. Like, oh no. I mean, yeah. I mean, she is leaving the building, but like, yeah. I mean, she wants to meet his boyfriend, her boyfriend. Sure. So yeah, I guess. Moving on. She touches the Death Note again. She regains her memory. She finally meets Ryuk. I was also a very happy person to meet Ryuk again. And here's the crazy thing. She makes a deal again to have the Shinigami eyes. Fucking psychopath. Fucking crazy bitch. Let me just say. She already has her life cut in half, and now it's being cut in half again. All for the sake of somebody who doesn't give a shit about you. Light does not care about you. And the sad thing is, she doesn't realize it. She doesn't realize this. She is still in her fanatic fanboyism of this figure who isn't who she thinks he is. Light is using her. He is a manipulative piece of shit. I kind of feel bad for her. But at the same time, why? You should know better. She makes the deal anyway. She gets the Shinigami eyes. And they are on their way to meet L. If Misa finally gets to see L in this very instance, then it is game over. It is game over. There's no going back from this. There's no... You cannot write your way out of this again. You cannot write your way out of, like, let's say, like Miss Naomi from, like, episode 7. That's not what is happening here. No. We are literally in the final stretch of the story, which is kind of crazy considering there's, like, what? 12 more episodes after this or something like that. Like, what's gonna happen? But yeah, Misa and Light finally met. We're gonna shape the world into our own ideal world, sense of justice. That okay. Again, manipulating her. Great shot again. And the final shot of the episode is L looking at the surveillance. L is looking at them, and Light looking very menacing. Interesting that he is shown with the red eyes, even though he hasn't really used the Shinigami eyes yet. I've always made the assumption and the prediction that Light is going to use the Shinigami eye to make a deal to basically figure out L's name. But since Misa Misa is back and she has the Death Note and she has the Shinigami eyes again, then that really isn't necessary for Light to do so. And here is when I start to dive deeper into some minor nitpicks, or not really criticisms, because so far I am really enjoying the story, but I'm just saying, like, we've basically reverted back to the original status quo, right? It does kind of feel like, again, this is just my opinion, this is just how I am viewing the story so far, it does kind of feel like we have reached this conclusion before, a couple of episodes ago, like 10 episodes ago, I would say. Let me see if yeah, about 9 episodes ago, in episode 15, we have reached this conclusion before. We've basically reverted back to a position of that in episode 15, which is Light and Misa both have the Death Note. Misa has the Shinigami eyes, and all they have to do is go to L and then see his name, and then it is game over for L. That is pretty much it. That is the status quo that is in episode 15, and we basically return that status quo again in episode 24. Which brings into question the 9 episode in between, where it's like, okay, you clearly make that decision not happen in episode 15, because that would be way too soon in the story, right? You need to make the story longer. That's why you make this entire thing happen, this entire mini arc where the Yotsuba group is now Kira, and then everybody is like trying to figure out who the actual Kira is. And I'm not saying that entire storyline is bad. No, it is entertaining in a lot of ways. But I'm just saying, like, it does feel a bit, you know what I mean, right? It's like, yeah. It does kind of feel like plot convenience at this point, because again, like, Death Note could have ended in episode 15. We could have ended the show in that very moment. The writers basically wrote themselves into that specific corner where Misa Misa is within L and Light's vicinity. She saw who L is, she knows the name. Death Note should have been over at that point. The only reason it is not is because L played his moves correctly and detains both of them, which leads up to the rest of the story. I don't hate that decision, I'm just saying, hey, from a writing perspective, it does feel like you wrote the ending, you opted not to continue that ending, you stretch it out for a couple of episodes, only to revert back to that ending. And now I'm confused, because we are at episode 24 out of 37 episodes, so what's gonna happen next? What is gonna happen next? Like, this is the end game. Like, there's no stopping them now. You cannot turn back at this point. You've already had this situation like 9 episodes ago, as I've mentioned. Now you're back here. Don't revert back again. Like, don't do any bullshit again. And again, I'm not saying that the story is terrible. No, I am really enjoying the story so far. I think it is pretty good. I'm just saying, like, you know, don't take this as like negative criticism. No, I'm just pointing out that the way I see it, it does kind of feel like they are repeating things that should not really be repeated. That is it for episode 24. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I want to continue with episode 25 yet. So this is only going to be one episode. This is only going to be a one episode reaction video. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and my discussion as well. If you do, hit the like, subscribe, and I will see you all maybe next week for the next episode reaction. Take care, guys.